Jason Aaron and Javier Garron turn the tide of war as Iron Man confronts the Iron Inquisitor while the rest of the Earth's mightiest heroes protect Earth from the Multiversal Masters of Evil. Jason Aaron continues his Avengers Assemble storyline with more all-out action. However, this time he focuses in on Iron Man confronting his father Howard, the Iron Inquisitor, finally paying off the extremely long-running storyline which has been happening since, I think, issue 31, 32 of this Avengers run, so quite a long time ago. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy Tony confronting his warmongering father and putting the lessons he's learned throughout his life to good use, but for all the build-up and how long it's been running in the background of all these different stories Jason has been telling, for it to be over so soon was a little underwhelming. On the other side of that, there is the idea that that was the point, that Howard was all talk and show, and when it came down to a fist fight, a knock him out, drag him out fight, he wasn't up for it because he didn't have any of his weapons or anything. And that aspect of their relationship was quite interesting, but it didn't go on long enough, I think. Doom betraying the Masters of Evil was rather obvious and bound to happen sooner or later, and I hope it leads to the Masters maybe coming to the realization that they were used, what they did was wrong, and maybe even teaming with the heroes against the army of Dr. Dooms, which sounds like a great bombastic way to round out this event. Javier Garron continues his cinematic action-packed artwork, really packing a lot into each page, filling them with the chaos a 9-day war would bring and giving each Avenger, prehistoric Avenger, and even the Masters of Evil a moment to shine, which is a tough task considering how many characters there are, but Garron makes it look so effortless and extremely easy to follow the battlefield geography. Avengers issue 64 continued the giant action-filled Avengers Assembled storyline, focusing in on Iron Man and his battle with his father, never really living up to all the build-up Aaron did for that particular storyline over the last 30 issues. I'm going to give this issue a 6 out of 10. Avengers issue 64 finds Iron Man considering what they are currently doing to Earth by battling the Multiversal Masters of Evil, thinking it might be classed as the 6th extinction level event the planet has undergone. Iron Man's armor tells him the battle has been raging for 9 days straight, and he's been awake for almost all of that, apart from the times he's been knocked out. He knows the damage to their timeline only matters if they win, as he confronts King Killmonger, prying open the faceplate of the Destroyer armor and allowing Thor, Odin, and Captain Marvel to blast Eric, hurting the man under the armor. Killmonger isn't down for long, blasting the heroes back as Iron Fist hopes the Great Dragon will bless her fists. The hero smashes Eric in the face, making the man wonder what hope does she have against King Killmonger. Iron Fist knows that she doesn't fight with hope, since the hope was taken from her, so now she fights with rage and punching. Iron Fist unleashes a flurry of strikes against King Killmonger, toppling the villain as the Avengers regroup. Odin celebrates the victory, wanting to get drunk, but Thor tells him they need to still continue the fight as Iron Fist knows they have to make the world worth doing this for. Iron Man thinks about how he's never fought in a war, only ever building weapons for others to use in war, and as his father told him, a good weapon can save lives, but he knows that's just a polite way of saying it'll kill your enemies more efficiently so you can come home alive. Tony hears someone calling him from inside a nearby cave, and he follows it to find Howard Stark. The Iron Inquisitor has removed his armor, telling Tony he's standing down since he's there to save Tony from himself. Tony knows the man isn't his father and is just another of Mephisto's tricks, but Howard says he really is a normal Howard Stark, albeit from a different Earth. He knows that he's made some mistakes just like his son and ended up soul bond to Mephisto and is forced to work as his Iron Inquisitor, and Mephisto wanted him to kill Tony because Iron Man frightens the devil as much as anyone else because he's too much like him. Howard tries to convince Tony that there is a future and it should be shaped by them, not as guardians or aliens or monsters, since they can envision the future and they deserve to be the immortal hands who will guide it. Tony blasts his father back, not impressed with his rip-off of Darth Vader's pitch to Luke from Empire Strikes Back. Howard knows that it wouldn't work since Tony is a moron as his armor grabs Tony's leg, destroying his armor with an EMP blast. Howard punches his son in the face, telling him that if he wants a fight, he'll have to do it like a man. Nighthawk and Moon Knight meanwhile battle Black Skull, who reveals that he's kept his symbiote restrained so he won't lose the beautiful mind of Johann Schmidt to an alien monster, but he won't do that anymore. Captain America grabs his shield from the fires on the ground, strapping the white-hot weapon to his arm and burning himself badly, as he tells Skull that he's right about one thing, and there will be no more. He smashes Black Skull in the face with the flaming shield, hurting the symbiote with the fire as the Avengers hold the villain down, allowing Captain America to burn the symbiote from Johan's body as the villain screams, not wanting it to leave him. The symbiote escapes to kid Thanos, who knows that Johan was always weak and petty, and a weapon as grand as a symbiote should be wielded by someone who will use the power indiscriminately. As the Avengers fight the venomized Thanos, Tony thinks about Spider-Man's jokes, Kamala's smile, Patsy's kisses, Ben Grimm's poker games, among other things that he knows will all be erased if they don't win this war. Iron Man continues to fight his father, smashing Howard down as he quips that he always knew it would come down to this. Howard hits him with a rock, telling him it comes down to Iron Man just being soft. Tony knows he's anything but, beating his father over and over and screaming that he survived and this is worth every dollar it will cost him in therapy. Echo and Valkyrie meanwhile fight the Dark Phoenix, stabbing her and cutting off one of her arms. Echo knows that it's monsters like the Dark Phoenix that give the Phoenix Force a bad name, since the Force wants to be a force for good. Dark Phoenix laughs off that idea, wanting to show them the full power of the Phoenix Force. Echo wants to show the villain as well, as across the timeline, various other Avengers lend their power to the Phoenix Force as Echo tells Dark Phoenix to prepare to burn. The Avengers continue to try and stop Thanos as Odin and Thor use their hammers to pin the symbiote to the floor. Captain America calls for fire to be used to burn the parasite off of the young Thanos. Echo unleashes the fire onto the villain, removing the symbiote from Thanos, but the kid slips away in the resulting explosion. Namor asks where the Dark Phoenix has gotten to as well, as Iron Man tells them to spread out to look for her. The Avengers split up as Iron Man morphs into Dark Phoenix, who knows that she can't stop now since she carried the fire for too long and she is killed in its name. Dark Phoenix reveals her true form to be that of Mystique, who proclaims that the fires of Mystique will outburn them all. Cap calls for the team to find the real Tony as Iron Man burns away Howard's armor. Howard knows that his son just couldn't wait to hide behind his toys again, knowing that he doesn't have the guts to shoot him like he did the armor. Tony tells him murderers always think that it takes courage to be them, but there is nothing brave about being a piece of human garbage. He tells his father he won't put him out of the misery he put himself in, but he will take Howard up on his offer from before and take his hand. Tony grabs his father's hands, crushing them with the gauntlets of the Iron Man armor. He tells Howard that his armor is gone and with his broken hands, he won't be rebuilding it, and this cave he is in will now be his home for however long it takes Mephisto's magic to wither away and for him to actually die. Iron Man leaves, telling his father that until that happens, he will get to watch the world that's coming and the world full of Avengers who are fighting to save it, and a world of wonders and one without Howard Stark. Howard screams to his son to come back and kill him as elsewhere, Dark Phoenix meets with Doom, calling him a coward for abandoning them on the battlefield and leaving the others to fight alone. She unleashes her power on the villain, but it learns it's just an illusion and Doom is not really there. Mystique knows the Masters of Evil were just used as a distraction, wondering what Doom's true goal is, as elsewhere, Doom above all learns that his troops are assembled and they are almost at their target. Doom rallies his men, telling them to use the one word they all know and to shout it if they have the tongues to do it. The thousands of Dooms from across the multiverse scream their name as Doom and his planet arrive.